good morning again, esteemed colleagues working on this project and developing a pipeline, a demand pipeline. We are excited that we have moved from just merely having a conversation to the implementation of what we had discussed earlier on during the tenure of Dr. Gbadebo Smith in NISA. At the Impact Investors Foundation, when we were established, we realized that the impact investment ecosystem in Nigeria, or the impact investment market in Nigeria, was nascent. And due to all the challenges in the space, really hampered the growth of impact capital. And impact capital is the kind of capital that we require to achieve social development in an emerging market as ours. However, these barriers in the market really were constraining the growth of impact capital. We started out by looking at the impact investment landscape. The very first study that was done was in 2015 by the Global Impact Investing Network. And it looked at various markets regionally: the West African market, the East African market, the North African market, and the South African market. The West African market was not doing as well as the other markets. However, the two countries that were attracting the most impact capital in West African region was Nigeria and Ghana. We were attracting over 50% of impact capital to the region, which was a good sign. The market in West Africa was fragmented, we noticed, and is still fragmented till today. There are lots of challenges, particularly macroeconomic challenges, policy inconsistency that really has hampered, the growth of impact capital to us as the region. In 2019, when we started our journey, we commissioned another study to look at the two largest markets in Nigeria and Ghana, to see how far we had come. Despite the macroeconomic challenges in two countries, we still continue to attract both capital and impact investors. However, we see that these barriers need to be addressed so that we can, have colossal capital, both locally as well as internationally. A few years back, like 2 years, 18 months back, IIF saw the opportunity of expanding our focus by being a part of the Global Steering Group for Impact Investing and establishing a National Advisory Board for Impact Investing that will, amplify our work and lead the impact investment movement at a national level. We embraced this because other countries too had set up their own national advisory boards and were leading the conversation on impact investing in their countries. And it provided an opportunity for peer learning. It provided an opportunity to share, works that other countries were doing. And also that just was, a low-hanging fruit for us to see what countries were doing and how we can contextualize them and implement some of those works that these countries had been doing to grow their own markets. The IIF put together about 64 persons from across the impact investing ecosystem to form a task force, and they identified some challenges within the impact investment ecosystem that can be addressed. And they made 4 recommendations. The 4 recommendations was to increase and to strengthen the demand for impact capital by investment-ready MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises, and social organizations. The second was to deepen the supply of impact capital for investment-ready micro, small, and medium enterprises. The third was to improve or promote policies on impact investing in Nigeria. And the fourth was to increase the number and the efficiencies of intermediary actors in the space. This work that is being done will really help us in terms of addressing the huge gap that we have, particularly around micro, small, and medium enterprises and the lack of access to finance. First, we must understand the landscape of the enterprise landscape in Nigeria. What are their challenges? And how we are designing innovative financial instruments for the MSME is so critical. This particular study you're doing is going to support even the Wholesale Impact Investment Fund in having that pipeline ready for disbursement of the fund. We all know that it's not the availability of capital that is the issue. It's the availability of a pipeline to receive that capital. So your work is so instrumental to the success of our work as a National Advisory Board and as well as the Wholesale Impact Investment Fund. Once again, on behalf of the Nigerian National Advisory Board for Impact Investing, our chair, Mrs. Ibukun Awoshika, the chairperson of the subcommittee on the Wholesale Impact Investment Fund, Mrs. Toyin Sani, who is also the CEO of Emerging Africa Group. I want to say a very big thank you to NISA and every one of you as we launch this project. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen.